The 10th of May, 1940, 8 months after the beginning of the Second World War. Nazi Germany invades the Netherlands, and German bombers attack the military airfields and barracks around The Hague. In an attempt to influence public opinion, Hitler justifies the attack with a lie, claiming that England and France have been planning to attack Germany via the Netherlands and Belgium. During the invasion, the German Air Force, the Luftwaffe, uses paratroopers to capture tactical points and to assist in the advance of ground troops across the country. On the 15th of May 1940, the Netherlands surrenders and signs a capitulation agreement. Soon after, the Nazis start to occupy the whole country and pass new anti-Jewish laws which are designed to exclude Jewish people from society and restrict their livelihood. The systematic deportations of Dutch Jews to death camps start in July 1942. To avoid almost certain death, many Jews go into hiding, but the possibility of their survival is reduced by the presence of Jew hunters, who are tempted by the lure of monetary rewards. The most effective of them is Ans van Dijk. Ans van Dijk, one of 2 children of Jewish parents, was born on the 24th of December 1905 in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Ans's father Aaron owned a debt collection agency, and her mother Katja was a mentally unstable woman who died in 1919 when Ans was only 14 years old. After his wife's death, Aaron van Dijk remarried, and with his new wife he had 2 sons. Ans married in 1927. Her husband became Abraham Guerrero, a Jewish farmhand whom Ans met when she was 17. The marriage remained childless, and they separated in 1935. Soon after, Van Dijk began a lesbian relationship with a woman named Miep Stortel, whom she employed in her shop named Miso Evani on the Nieuwedijk, which is a major shopping street in central Amsterdam. The 2 women lived together in an apartment above the store, liked to go out in cafes, and Van Dijk made numerous friends in the Amsterdam lesbian scene. In 1939, Ans's father Aaron died in the Het Apeldoornse Bos psychiatric institution, where he was admitted because he suffered from persecution complex. People who experience this delusion believe that someone or something is intending to cause them harm, which can cause a great deal of anxiety and concern, and sometimes lead to other behaviors such as aggression. The Second World War began on the 1st of September 1939, when Nazi Germany invaded Poland. On the 10th of May 1940, Germany invaded the Netherlands. Soon after, a civil administration was installed under the SS auspices, and Arthur Seyss-Inquart was appointed Reichskommissar of the Netherlands. Among his first steps were a series of laws posing economic discriminations against the Jews. During 1940, the German occupation authorities banned Jews from the civil service and required them to register the assets of their business enterprises. On the 3rd of October the same year, Ans van Dijk and Abraham Guerrero were officially divorced. In January 1941, the German authorities required all Jews to register themselves as Jews. The Germans claimed that the requirement that all Jews register was for their own safety, but the truth was that it enabled their future deportations, as the Nazis could easily track them down. A total of 159,806 people were registered, including 19,561 persons born of mixed marriages. The total number included some 25,000 Jewish refugees from the German Reich. A Jewish council was established in February 1941. The council was held responsible for law and order in the Jewish districts, and if the council failed to ensure this, house searches would be carried out and there would be severe punishments for anyone possessing arms. In 1941, all associations had to expel Jewish members, and the sign "Forbidden for Jews" appeared on the doors and gates of cafes, swimming pools, sports fields, museums, zoos, libraries, theaters, markets, and many other public places. Jews had to hand over their money, and their businesses were confiscated. Such was also the case of a shop owned by Ans van Dijk, who had to close it in November 1941 as it had been registered as a Jewish property. From the 2nd of May 1942, it became compulsory for all Jews to wear a visible Star of David. Those caught without the badge were arrested and detained for a 6-week period to serve at the Mauthausen concentration camp. In the Netherlands, everyone knew that this was a death sentence. However, Ans refused to comply with all the anti-Jewish measures of the Nazis and did not wear it. Instead, she dyed her hair blonde and managed to obtain a false identity card in the name of Alfonsia Maria Annie de Jong. Deportations of Jews from the Netherlands began in July 1942. The last train left Westerbork for Auschwitz on the 3rd of September 1944. During these 2 years, the Germans and their Dutch collaborators deported some 107,000 Jews, mostly to Auschwitz and Sobibor, where they were murdered. Only 5,200 survived. Because some Dutch citizens could not bear to see what was happening to their country and people, and wanted to fight the occupation, they joined the resistance. The resistance's counterintelligence, domestic sabotage, and communications networks helped to provide key support to the Allied forces throughout the liberation of Holland. Members of the resistance, if discovered, were immediately sentenced to death. Van Dijk initially helped the resistance by supplying her fellow Jews with hiding places, identity papers, and necessities. Between 25 and 30,000 Jews went into hiding in the Netherlands, and Ans van Dijk was one of them. Hiding in Amsterdam's Marco Polo Straat, she had accommodated 2 Jewish ladies at another address in the same street. However, those ladies were betrayed, and in turn told that the hiding place had been handed to them by Van Dijk, who was arrested on Easter Sunday 1943 by Pieter Schaap, a detective of the Office of Jewish Affairs of the Amsterdam Police. At the office, Ans was beaten and given a choice: either go to the east or work together with the Germans. She decided to team up with the SD, which was the intelligence agency of the SS and the Nazi Party under Hitler's regime. From that moment on, her life took a dramatic turn. Pretending to be a member of the illegal resistance organization Free Nederlands, she offered to help Jews find hiding places and obtain false papers. Van Dijk convinced dozens of Jews that she sought to help them. Instead, she betrayed their hiding places to Schaap, who in turn had the Jews arrested. Her house at Jekerstraat Street in Amsterdam served as a trap. In this house, which belonged to deported Jews, Van Dijk lived with her new girlfriend, a single mother, Mies de Recht, who was 2 years her junior. Ans's previous girlfriend, Miep Stortel, had fled to Switzerland in July 1943. Ans, the previously rather shy woman with little self-confidence, blossomed through her work for the Bureau. In addition, she received money and recognition for every person who got caught by the Germans with her help. Within a couple of months of making her arrangement with Schaap, Van Dijk found herself at the head of a group of women hunting Jews. Among these women were Rosalie Rosendahl, who tried to protect herself and her mother from deportation, and Branka Simons, who was also given the choice by the SD to be deported or to help track down Jews in hiding. Both Ans van Dijk and Simons were regularly placed in a cell with arrested Jews, and thus obtained further information from them. However, the most fanatical of the group was Ans van Dijk, whom Pieter Schaap, her Nazi superior, described as the best of his 10 employees. She developed what the prosecutor later described as a satanic hunting instinct. She betrayed anyone who got in her way: friends, her own brother, his wife, and their 3 children, as well as the family of her own girlfriend. Abraham Querido, her former husband, died on the 30th of June 1944 at the Blechhammer concentration camp. However, a connection between his deportation and the activities of Van Dijk is not confirmed. Van Dijk also tried to make an appointment with Louis Stortel, the brother of her friend Miep, who had fled to Switzerland. Fortunately, Louis did not trust the case, did not show up, and survived the war. Together with her accomplices, Ans van Dijk betrayed 145 people. 107 Jews and 38 non-Jewish Dutchmen in the period between May 1943 and August 1944. Only a small proportion of these people survived the concentration camps. However, she may have been responsible for the deaths of as many as 700 people. After the Allied landing in Normandy in June 1944, the Western Allies rapidly advanced in the direction of the Dutch border. The invasion and the growing certainty that Germany would lose the war did not dampen the zeal of Ans van Dijk and her colleagues. After they came into contact with a resistance fighter and hinted that they themselves were also involved in the underground, they won his trust and traced a number of hiding places through him. On the 18th of August 1944, with their help, the Germans raided various places in the Dutch town of Zeist and arrested 30 to 40 people, including 12 Jews. Only a few of those 12 survived the war. In the Netherlands, between 25 and 30,000 Jews went into hiding during the war. 2/3 of those managed to survive. The Germans officially surrendered all their troops in the Netherlands on the 5th of May 1945, 3 days before the general capitulation of Germany. After the end of the war, Van Dijk moved to The Hague, where she was arrested at her girlfriend's home on the 20th of June 1945. Charged with 23 counts of treason, Van Dijk appeared before a special court in Amsterdam and confessed to all the counts against her, explaining that she had only acted out of self-preservation, adding her enormous fear of the SD as an explanation for her traitorous role. Whenever it was possible, she tried to minimize her guilt and blame her former colleagues. Van Dijk neither admitted nor denied the accusation of the fatal betrayal of her own brother and his family, but attributed it to her psychotic state of mind. During her trial, which began in February 1947, Van Dijk admitted to helping the Nazis capture at least 145 Jews, including her relatives. Her ex-lover, Mies de Recht, whose relatives had been betrayed by Van Dijk as well, referred to her as a devil in human form. Requests to have her psychologically examined were rejected by the presiding judge, who asked her, "How can you still sleep? Don't you always see all those people in front of you?" Ans van Dijk was sentenced to death for treason. She filed appeals to both the court and the Queen Wilhelmina, but both were rejected. Van Dijk's accomplices Rosalie Rosendahl and Branka Simons were arrested as well. Rosendahl was released from prison in 1947, Simons in 1959. The day before her execution, in a final desperate attempt to save her life, Ans van Dijk had been baptized and joined the Roman Catholic Church. However, nothing could save her. Ans van Dijk was 42 years old when she was executed by a 12-man firing squad on the 14th of January 1948. Pieter Schaap, Van Dijk's former superior, jointly responsible for the arrest of 10,000 Jews, was executed the same way 1 year later. After the war, a total of 39 people were executed in the Netherlands because of their war past. Of those 39, Ans van Dijk was the only woman. Shortly before her execution, Ans wrote her farewell letter in which she said, "I hope that in the future you will remember me in your prayers from time to time." However, today, she is remembered only because her name has become synonymous with the betrayal of Jews in the Netherlands. There were no tears shed for Ans van Dijk.
Thanks for watching the World History Channel. Be sure to like and subscribe, and click the bell notification icon so you don't miss our next episodes. We thank you, and we'll see you next time on the channel.